We'd be called to assembly, so you all had to file in, and assembly was very formal. So Mr Anslow would inevitably lead assembly, and he could talk about all sorts of things.
A typical day was 9:15 to 9:05 was registration. 9:05 to 10, no, 9:05, yeah, to 10, first lesson, and then 10 to 11, second lesson. Then it was break for 15 minutes.
We would have a hymn to sing and some prayers, and all the staff would be sat at the back, whereas we would be in the seats just below the stage, the whole school like that. And then once the assembly was over, the double doors to the hall would be opened, and he used to stand at the doors, and he always used to keep an eye on people as they went past to see, and he would pull out people and comment if their shoes were messy or things like that. He was a great stickler for that.
Then you'd have another 2 hours of lessons until 1:20, and 1:20 to 2:05 was lunch, and then 15 minutes of registration, and then 1 hour left of lessons to go home.
And from there we'd go on to whatever our timetable was for the day, whether it would be a double period of PE, or whether we were down at the domestic science lab for a double period, or English. I particularly enjoyed the double periods of PE, and I can always remember I think it was you always had to keep to the left on corridors because of the central part of the upstairs, where you've got that classroom in the centre, so it depends which stairwell you went up, things like that.
I did used to have to get 2 buses because where I lived in St George's, for some reason you couldn't get a bus. I think you can now, so I'd have to wake up pretty early, get a normal Arriva bus down to Donington, and then it depends on who would. Sometimes I'd meet with friends there if they were catching the bus there, get the bus into school, a bit of time, go to the shop maybe, get into form, and then obviously you had your normal lessons and break time, and then on the way home again, sort of similar routine, shop, 2 buses, and then back at home.
Typical day. Bell would go about 5 to 9 o'clock, go to tutor, form room, whatever, you stay there for half an hour. About 9:25, the bell would go, off to first lessons. Then change about 10:30, I would have thought. About 11:30 we'd have a break for 10 minutes. Then next lesson, then lunch. And then two lessons in the afternoon, or a double lesson, and we used to finish at 4:45.
Typical day, we'd get the train from Shrewsbury, and we'd get a train at 8:33, and we'd get into Wellington about 10 to 9, and you'd have to run, basically, so you got here on time. We used to use a different entrance towards the playground rather than the entrance they use now, and you'd go to your form room, and you'd have registration, and then you'd go off to lessons.
Oh, that's a hard one. Were there any typical days? I remember distinctly the 8:20 train from Shifnal, which meant I had to leave home at 8 o'clock, running for the train, always running for the train, always running back to the train as well, and then travelling all the way to school.
If I recall, we used to come straight into assembly before registration. It was whole school assembly, and we all fitted in the hall. There wasn't that many of us here. We'd sing a hymn, say a prayer, any announcements, go off to registration, and then off to lessons, break mid-morning. We used to have a tuck shop.
Lessons right from the beginning, 2 or 3 lessons, having a break for 15 minutes, standing at the base of the stairs next to radiators, chatting, a very social part of school. And moreover, having then the Angelus when we're back in class at 12 o'clock, and the Angelus is a daily prayer at 12 o'clock, so the bell would ring in the school, and whatever teacher you were with would say the prayer, the Angelus, together, and then we'd all sit down again. So that was something that stopped in about the 2nd or 3rd year.
Once you got to school, which was, I don't know, about 8:20, something like that, you'd mill around on the playground, and let's say it was a sunny day, you'd be outside playing football or kicking a can around. I don't know whether that was allowed. It soon got, it sort of cancelled out. But I remember that, and then of course you had registration.
Catch the bus in the morning, 8:10. Arrive at the station, catch the 8:25 to 9 train, get off the train about 10 to 9, and then walk from the railway station to here, which was about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, and I think it was 9:15 start.
And then after that, it was lessons, and I always remember it being broken up into periods, and it was half periods as well for like RE and maths. What else was there? Lunchtime, of course, about 12 o'clock.
I think 4 lessons in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. And then I think half an hour for lunch, which we had in the hall. And then back again at night, 3:45 finish.
And then the afternoon periods, and I just remember PE being typical in the afternoon, and then home time, and not taking any shortcuts across any fields, because Mr. Greenwood, the maths teacher, he would shout because he was trying to preserve the grass, from erosion, from all the pupils taking shortcuts. So you'd miss your bus, just for the sake of the grass.
Down to the station, catch the 4:15 train, Shrewsbury for 4:30, 20 to 5 bus, and back home at 5 o'clock.